and welcome or welcome back to Isn't It? As you can probably tell, I am not in my normal location. I'm really hoping that the audio is okay because I don't have a microphone. I am on, or I'm going to be on, an Alaskan cruise with my family. I just boarded the ship. My family will be here soon, and I just kind of wanted to take you guys along on what I'm knitting. I'm hoping to hit up a yarn store or two. I have some pictures I want to take because I have kind of an exciting announcement to make at some point in this video. And also, this is just like perfect weather, perfect excuse to get a lot of really dedicated knitting time in. So I thought I'd take you along, see some beautiful scenery, and keep you posted on what I'm doing. Talk soon. Okay, hello again, everybody. You're gonna have to excuse the kind of weird framing of this section because I'm gonna find a good place to film, but I don't have any of my, like, I don't have a tripod or anything, so you're just sort of propped up on my bag. But I'm not loving the angle. I wish you could be a little higher. We'll see. Okay, anyway, I wanted to talk a little bit more about some of the projects that I brought with me to work on and some plans that I have. I hope to do a little bit of yarn shopping while I'm here, but my suitcase is already pretty full, and so is my stash. So maybe like an accessories amount of yarn, we shall see. But the big thing I want to show you is the main project that I'm going to be working on this trip. I did bring two other projects that I may get around to, I may not. They're both whips that have been lingering for a while, one of which is for my mom, who has been so patient, and I really should finish that. But I'm like, you know, when you just have actually genuinely no motivation to work on a project, none, that's where I'm at with this whip. I have one sleeve left, and then I have to steek it, and steeking it is scaring me so bad that I think that's like a big part of why I haven't finished the sleeve. But this is my main project for this trip. This is my partner's birthday sweater. Her birthday has already passed. It was in July, early July. It is now mid-July to late July, so we're not too bad. But if I could finish it in these 9 days, that would be so amazing. This is the Inch sweater by Rebecca Glow. Once again, every pattern I knit is by her, it seems. She's just I really know what I'm getting. And there are lots of adaptions that you can make, and I like supporting her. I think she's really good at what she does. So this is based off of a sweater that I'm sure many of you have seen on Pinterest. I will insert the picture here. I have talked about it before, I'm sure, because it's been on my partner's wish list since I learned how to knit. This is a half fisherman's rib crew neck, saddle shoulder construction. There are the saddles, maybe, there we go. I'm knitting this in Santa's Garden Pure Gint. This is my second time working with this yarn. I really like it. I'm a big fan. I think it's good for what it does. It's very floofy though. I've been knitting and I keep getting like fluff flying off. I'm knitting this on 3.5 millimeter needles, which is a US size 4. This is working up pretty slowly. It's half fisherman's rib, so that makes sense. Basically, if you're not familiar with half fisherman's rib, there are a couple of different strategies, but the way I'm doing it, one moment, there's an announcement in progress. Okay, we're back. Unfortunately, that might happen again. It is night 1 on the cruise, and they are making a lot of safety announcements, which totally makes sense, but it is disruptive. Anyway, as I was saying, half fisherman's rib, there are a couple of strategies. The way I'm doing it is it's obviously a ribbed knit 1 purl 1 pattern, so you purl as normal, and then on the right side of the fabric you knit into the stitch below instead of into the stitch on your needles, and then on the wrong side you knit and purl as regular. But what that means is that it is a lot more knitting than a normal sweater, because you're not moving as fast, but it creates such a nice and plushy, you can't really tell, it's very squishy, it's very nice. The main color is, I believe this is the Petite Knit Almond, and then I have a contrasting collar, as you will see from that picture, and the contrasting collar is also Sandnes Garn. I think this is Dazzling Blue, if that is even a color. Do I have the... I might not have the label. I believe this is Dazzling Blue. So this will be the collar, which I think will be so nice. So yes, I'll keep you posted on progress with this. My other project is the Lynx cardigan for my mom, which is only, I finished the first sleeve a couple days ago. I have 1 sleeve left, and then I have to steek it, do the ribbing, like the button band ribbing and the collar ribbing. So we'll see if I have time. And then I also brought a sock, because that felt like a smart thing to have on hand while I'm excursioning. So I'll keep you posted on how that's going. My other exciting piece of information is that I am working on a pattern design. Sitting down is not probably showing this off the best way that I could, but I knit this zip up. I have been really wanting a zip up. I thought this trip was a perfect occasion. I couldn't find one that was exactly what I was looking for, so I decided to take the plunge. This is also knit in Pure Gint on size, they're US 7 needles. I think that's a 4.5 mil. I got a comment one time that was asking me to not be so US centric with my needle referencing, which I can understand, although I do live in the US, so that's just, you know, those are the units that I talk in. But anyway, I'll give you a better close-up of this later when I can make it kind of nice. But it's a raglan zip up with some 3x1 ribbed detailing, 3x1 ribbed raglan increases that then carry down along the underarm, and then you really can't see, but there's like a purl stitch that follows that ribbing down the sleeve, and then I installed the zipper. There's zipper plackets included here, and so there'll be more information to come about that soon. I'm working on writing up the pattern. That is step 1. That's one of my tasks for this trip. I brought my laptop. I took really good notes while I was knitting it, but it's definitely not in pattern form. And then I think I'm going to outsource grading, because I think that size inclusivity is super important, and I want to make sure that everything fits as I wanted it to. And this is a little bit more of a fitted garment, and so I don't feel super confident in my ability to accurately grade that. So that'll be the next step. I'm going to work on writing it this trip for my size, and then try and find a competent grader, of which I know there are many, 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 who I can pay a little bit of money to help me with that, or, you know, however much money is appropriate. So yeah, there will probably be a test knit call at some point in the coming months. I have never done this process before, so I'm not totally sure of my timeline, but I'm really excited about it. I think that it is a really nice pattern, if I do say so myself. I'm a big fan, so more to come on that also.
Background. I don't know how loud that is. I wanted to check in. I know that I have had a lot of footage of some of the beautiful scenery and stuff that we've been up to. Today is our first port stop. So we stopped in Skagway, Alaska today, which was so beautiful. Here, let me show you the view from outside my room. One second. This is the view from the ship's deck. Just insane. So beautiful. Anyway, yeah, so today we docked in Skagway, and my whole family and I did an excursion where we met some of the Alaskan sled dogs, which was so amazing. I'll include some footage of that here. I talked a lot with one of the mushers about sort of, you know, the history of Alaskan sled dogs, and also the importance of making sure that the specific breed of dog gets as much exercise as they provide here. In the winter, they can run up to like 100 miles a day. They're racing dogs largely. They do the Iditarod Trail here, but in the summer, even though to us it is still rather chilly here, any more than 3 miles, like 1 to 3 miles, can give the dogs heat stroke. So they do much smaller loads in the summer, and they kind of weight train them. So they did tours. We were pulled on a big cart. The dogs were so energetic and amazing, and it was really, really fun to have that experience with everybody. And then we walked around downtown Skagway a little bit, and I got to stop at a yarn shop. I only took a tiny bit of footage because it was honestly really packed in the downtown area, and I was a little overwhelmed. But I'll include that here. They had some really beautiful local yarns. They had quivet yarn, which is the underwool of the musk ox. And I do really want to buy some of that yarn. I know that
in Juneau tomorrow, there are a couple of shops that I'm wanting to hit up. It is really expensive. It's definitely like a luxury fiber. So I was looking at one skein that was like a sock blend. So it was quivet, silk, nylon, and maybe there was some merino in there. And it was $150 for like 100 grams of that yarn. And then the pure quivet yarn was like $350 for 100 grams. So that's not really in my budget. It's also like, I don't exactly know what I would do with one skein of fingering weight yarn. I do knit socks, but I don't need a pair of $100 socks. So I'm gonna do some more thinking and some more researching before the shops tomorrow, and maybe they'll have a slightly wider selection of yarn that I can choose from, because I would love to get something that's, you know, specific to Alaska. They also had some Arctic fox yarn, which was beautiful, but similarly really expensive. So I need to do some more research and prepare for my shopping opportunities tomorrow. But what I did purchase and have already knit up at this point, I got a skein of a fossilope, I think is the bulky weight letlope yarn, which is the Icelandic wool yarn, which I have never used before. But tomorrow my dad and I are doing an electric bike tour in Juneau, and I forgot to bring a hat or anything to cover my ears. And a fun fact about me is that I'm actually allergic to the cold. I get hives all over my body when I get too cold and start to feel pretty cruddy. So knitting has been a huge help with that, honestly, insulate myself. But I got this like ice blue skein of a fossilope or alafossilope. I'm butchering it either way, I'm sure, but it's the bulky weight unspun Icelandic wool by Letlope, or Istex Letlope. And I knit this up on size 10.5 needles, and it took me legitimately an hour. So just a little ear band. Letlope and Istex Icelandic wool is like pretty scratchy, so it's a little bit prickly to be wearing on my head, but I've learned that I'm not super sensitive to wool, and I think with time and with a block, it will soften up. I think when I get home, I might do some duplicate stitch over and put little flowers on it or something, but it is pretty cute just like this. And I actually bought 2 skeins of that, thinking that I might need more, because sometimes bulky weight yarn just like is gone so quickly, and I used like barely any yarn, so maybe I'll make some mittens or something to go along with it. Some more accessory knitting. My other update is that I have joined in the round on the inch sweater. So I have made some pretty good progress since we spoke last. The half fisherman's rib is still taking quite some time, but it's looking really good. I've done a little bit under the armpits here, and I think pretty soon I'm gonna pick up the collar and do that, because I think that's always really exciting to make it feel a little bit more finished. So yeah, check back in later. very foggy Juneau. This is our second stop on our cruise. Day 3 though, or no, maybe day 4 even. I'm mixed up. But it has been such a fun day. Today my dad and I went on an e-bike ride, like up into the mountain a little bit, and then we walked through the rainforest in Juneau, which was so beautiful. It's primarily a spruce forest, so it's not like, obviously it's not a tropical rainforest like people picture, but it was insane. When I first got off the boat, I was like, immediately, this is like Twilight, which is a little bit embarrassing, but I did have the stuck in my head the whole bike ride. And my tour guide did say that that is a common comparison. Lots of people are humming that tune when they're biking, which was nice. So yeah, we biked up, we walked through the rainforest a little bit, and then we biked back down, but it was great. And then my dad and I walked through Juneau a little bit, and we got some seafood. Something about me is that I'm not a huge seafood person, and I'm really trying to be, partially because my partner is obsessed with seafood and horrified that I don't like it. You can see that there's a plane flying. It's a little bit loud. But also just because it's good to try and like new foods. So we stopped and we got some rockfish, like fried rockfish and chips, which was actually really quite delicious, and some oysters. And I do know that I like oysters. I think it's possible that I have traditionally liked Atlantic oysters better. I don't really know enough to know, but these were massive and they were quite briny, which was maybe not my favorite that I've ever had, but it was still really good. And I'm proud of myself for trying some new foods. And then we walked back. I got a couple of little gifts to take home to people, and also some earrings for myself. And it was a great day, really awesome day. I did pop into a yarn store. I didn't end up getting anything there. Like I said yesterday, the Quivet yarn, which is like what I feel like Alaskan yarn stores are sort of known for. Oh man, the sound quality might be bad. There are planes flying in and out, and I have really nothing to do about that. Give it a second. Okay, it seems like we've got a moment now. Anyway, the Quivet yarn is just really expensive everywhere you go for not a lot of yarn, which I totally understand. It's pretty rare and hard to harvest and all of that. But I'm just like, that's not in my budget right now, and I'm not a huge, like, I don't knit with a lot of hand-dyed yarns or sort of like that world of yarn. So none of the other like Alaska specific things were really calling my name. But that's okay. There's no point in buying something just to buy it. I am gonna have a day by myself in Vancouver before I fly home, and so I might do a little Canadian yarn shopping. I've been wanting to try Briggs & Littles, which I do think I can get in the US. I could order it, but if I have an opportunity to pick some up in Canada, why wouldn't I? So we'll see. I'll keep you posted on that, but no major yarn updates there. I haven't knit anything today because obviously I've been busy, but I will say that this little headband that I whipped out yesterday saved me. The Icelandic wool is like definitely a little itchy. I like took it off at one point. It felt like when you take your bra off after a long day, like that kind of relief. But we did get caught in the rain a little bit, and we were going pretty fast down some hills. I'll pause for airplane again. I think this is just the truth of where I'm sat. But anyway, we were going pretty quickly down some hills, so there was quite a bit of wind and kind of rainy, and my ears stayed nice and toasty. My head was warm, so I'm really pleased with that. I have a vision of a little matching like cape thing. I tried on this coat last winter that I wanted so bad, but it was a Barber jacket and again, out of my price range. But it was basically like a little A-line coat that had this layer over the top that looked like a cape, sort of like a pullover cape. Not like a superhero cape, but like, I don't know, I'll insert some pictures if I can find some. And I just have an image of such a cute little like turtleneck, sort of like, imagine a raglan but you never split for sleeves, you know what I mean? You just keep going down and going out, like to here maybe. So that's definitely not weather appropriate for Chicago back home right now, so it would probably be a later in the winter project. But I do think that if I got some more of this light blue, that could be so cute, like such a cute little set. So perhaps that will be pattern number 2. It will be a little cape of some sort. I'd also considered when I got home doing some duplicate stitch on this, and I'm not sure now because I think it's really, really cute as it is. I do definitely have enough yarn to make a second, so maybe I would make a second with some color work included. We shall see. Anyway, that's really all for my update right now. We've had a great time today in Juneau, and I can't wait for tomorrow. Tomorrow is Catch-A-Can, I believe. And I don't have an excursion planned, so I will just be getting off the boat and wandering a little bit and then seeing what I can find. I'll take you along then too. Thanks. I realized once I got home and was editing this video that I didn't film a single bit of information about my time in Vancouver. I only have some random clips. But at the end of the trip, I spent about 48 hours in Vancouver, which was really amazing, actually potentially a highlight of the trip. We got off the boat in Vancouver and my family left late that night that we got off, and I left late the next day. So I had one day by myself, which was super fun. I went down to the downtown area. I took the train. I'm in love with the Vancouver public transportation system. Chicago could really learn a thing or two. I went to a couple of really cute coffee shops and some of the best bookstores that I've ever seen. I would really love to come back and spend some more time here when I have a chance, because 48 hours just was not enough. I got to go to a restaurant, order at a kiosk, and they hand you your food from behind a curtain, which was so fun and such like a bucket list item as a solo traveler. I don't solo travel very often, but I definitely want to do some more of that soon. Yeah. Hello. I am officially back in Chicago. I have returned. I've been back for like 3 days, and I am still a little exhausted. I always feel like I need a couple of days of vacation from my vacation, but I'm back in the swing of things, back at work. I wanted to give final updates on my progress on the inch sweater. I definitely miscalculated how long the half fisherman's rib would take, so I think at the beginning of this video I mentioned that I would love to finish the body. Did not happen. But good progress was made nonetheless. Let me make sure this is the right side out. Yes. We are here. I added the collar, which, oh, it just looks so good. I don't always add the collar while I'm working on it, but especially when it's a contrast collar or when it's gonna like make it look so much more finished, I like to. People on vacation kept coming up to me while I was knitting and asking what I was working on, and really until I added the collar, nobody believed that it was a sweater. One lady asked if it was a dog sweater because the rib, it just like swoops in so much that once it's blocked it will fit perfectly, but it is kind of funny looking right now. So anyway, I've knit a good couple of inches under the arms. I'm just gonna keep working on it and try to get that finished up. I'm enjoying the process of knitting half fisherman's rib, but it's definitely an exercise in patience. Yeah, I'm really sorry that I have been gone for forever. I feel like I was in a good swing of making videos, and then quite honestly I got kind of sick over the holidays last year, and I had planned to make a video of everything that I had knit that year, and I like sat down to work on it and I just felt so gross. I wasn't like sick in any like big and scary way, I just like had a bad cold, and then I think I just got demotivated. I got out of the habit a little bit, but I really do miss filming these videos and having someone to talk to about all of my knitting, and I will have more information about this pattern as I know it. I'll give it to you. I'm already so excited to knit a second sample. I have actually 2 more samples in mind. I want to make one that's sort of like a deep like blue-red, like almost a burgundy color, with a double zip, so a zip that goes both ways, and like a round zipper, if that makes sense. I can picture it so clearly. And then I also really want to try stripes. There's such a ribbing pattern in this that I would love to be able to have some instructions for stripes in the pattern. And I'm picturing like a navy and like chartreuse green, like bright green stripe pattern, which I think would be so cute. So I'm not sure which one I'm gonna do first. I'd also love to try out some different yarns. I know that Cascade 220 and Pure Gant are like often interchanged, so I might try a sample in Cascade 220, which is a yarn that everyone here knows that I love. I think I could also probably use Knitting for Olive Heavy Merino, because I've used Cascade 220 and Heavy Merino interchangeably in patterns before, or like in the same, like 2 samples of the same pattern before. But I would love some other options. I'd love to use more new to me yarns. Pure Gant is technically listed as a DK weight everywhere that I see it, but I don't agree with that. I think it's much more like a worsted. So I don't know. Sometimes it's just hard to tell. So more on that as I have it. Hopefully I will start filming videos every week or every other week again. I'm not sure if I will have enough content to film a video every week, but I would love to jump back in. It's really fun to film these in that. So thank you all so much for watching. I hope that you are all having a great time and have good projects on your needles. I'd love to know what you all are working on. I also would love any recommendations for a name for this pattern. I am stumped, which I feel like I kind of need before I start public. I don't know, that's kind of next steps. I need a name. So yeah, any ideas for that would be greatly appreciated, and thank you so much for watching.